today we're doing something a little bit different. We're replacing these door bottoms. This piece was actually inside here, and that's just how rusty it was. There's nothing left there. So that's what we need. We need the strength built back in the bottom. So you're able to buy these replacement panels. They fit pretty nice. They're pretty decent. But down here on the end, where your door actually goes in, your latch goes in, your hinges, it wasn't cut out for that. We don't really need this upper piece because this upper piece is so solid. So we're going to keep these pieces, and we're actually going to try to use these on the back doors. So we're only cutting what we need. So what we did here is we ground off this bottom edge because we couldn't get the fold back. There's no way to get the air chisel or anything in there. So we ground that back, and then we were able to break that bottom piece off. Over on the ends, we made a little slit on each side. And this part we were able to bend back, so we'll be able to fit that right back in there and just fold this edge over the top. We did it on both sides. So right now we got this panel completely where it's supposed to go. All these vice grips are holding exactly where it has to be. So now that we know that, we are cutting this through the new piece of metal plus the old piece, and then we're just gonna butt weld it together. But we're actually leaving a little bit of a space in there because your cutting wheel's a little bit wider. So we got to be prepared for that. So needless to say, we're going to finish cutting this. We had to change the wheels out because we go through wheels like crazy on a project like this. And we're just going to continue cutting this until we can get it back in where we need to be. Okay, and now because we know we can't get down in there, we're going to take the Sawzall and trim back these pieces down here. There's no way we're going to get that air grinder in there. We'll cut it back with the Sawzall, and we'll be ready to replace this panel. The way we had this clamped in here, this is perfectly level, so we know this piece is where it's got to be. I know it's moving now, but it doesn't really matter because we cut both pieces of metal at once. Hopefully we'll be able to use this piece on the back doors.
Can actually see how well that actually is going to be.
We'll have a nice
that's
piece in there when we're done. So we're going to weld this, and we're going to weld the bottom. Of course, we're going to clamp it tighter because we know this piece is right. This piece is flexing, so we're going to weld that. So we really got a nice piece there. So we're all done with that. We'll grind it up, clean it up. Shouldn't even have, I don't want to use any putty in here, and we probably won't have to. There's no reason for it. We'll get that cleaned up real good. Spray 3 coats of a high build prime in there, sealer. So we get about 3 mils thick. That'll take care of the grinding marks. And finish her off. Piece is fitting excellent. This little corner, we got a little space in there. I'm not worried about that. We'll fill that back in with weld and just clean it up. Other than that, can't ask for much better. Everything lines up sweet. Very, very sweet. Now that we know where it's supposed to be, line it up good. Just put some tacks in there. We have to trim that back a hair. But all in all, Really happy with it. Get done with that, you'll never even know we put a piece in there. And we'll start on the next story here shortly and show you a little bit more detail how we cut it out. We're having problems with the camera today. So, we kind of get halfway through. Well, we'll show you how we cut that other piece instead of just explain it to you. Well, we're going to start tack welding that. Line it up little by little as we go down. We got it all cleaned up nice. She'll look like brand new when we're done. Beautiful. Coming out nice. Okay. So what we've come down to is the piece fits nice there. We got a gap in there. We're not worried about that. We're going to weld that up tight. So we can get this side right. Over on this side, we got a big gap. We don't want that. That's too much. So here's what we're going to do. Unfortunately, none of these pieces are really nice, but they're not perfect. And back in the day, nothing was. But we took the size of the cutting wheel. We went in there. And it's about the same, maybe a hair longer, hair thicker. So we're going to take this piece out and snap it in half. And that'll probably be about the gap. We might have to grind a little bit, but then we can bring these back in and we'll get these perfect. So that's what we're working on now. You got to snip this piece in half. You got to work with what you got. Nothing's perfect, especially in aftermarket. But about our only choice. So that's what we're going to do is we're going to zip this in half. We got this all down pretty nice. Finish up a little bit grinding. Roll the edge back over. We're going to weld up this edge, grind that down. Just a little bit of fine grinding here and there. And when we're done with this, you'll never even know that we put that piece in there. Strong, just like it was back to factory. Measure everything 3 times. Made sure everything was tacked up right. And then we just tacked it little bit by little. We actually been using vice grips and pliers to make sure it stayed straight and we maintain this body line, because we want this body line to match up, because your seal is going to go down inside here. So we want this to fit up decently to the body, but you need a gap because you're going to have your rubber seal in there. So we got that. I mean, that's, to me, it's perfect. A little bit more fine grinding here and there. We'll finish that up. We'll show you the finished product when it's all done here in a few minutes. Thanks for watching. We'll keep going.